Hello Aries, thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West, Supportive Oracle Cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle Cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen, there's her last name. I don't have the guts to butcher it, because I will butcher that name like nobody's business. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing, I think. Alright, the ending. I have a feeling the ending is going to be dramatic. Although they're all face down, so let's see if I'm right or not. I'm feeling it's going to be dramatic. I have this weird feeling, like, good, bad, I don't know. We got to get there. Alright. We're going to do it the same way we did the Sagittarian one. Okay, why not? So they're all face down until I flip them over. That's a weird card for Aries. That's really weird. Okay, so for Aries, like, I don't connect this energy with Aries normally, and maybe it's just because I have an Aries moon. I mean, there's moments in life, but you got the Victim card, Insecurity, and you have the Ace of Wands. Something is really off base here, like way off base. And, well, okay, this does make sense for Aries in the sense of, like, you're not happy, you're feeling like things are not going your way, like things are set up against you. That would make sense with the Victim. You're not feeling like you can really change them as they are. If you just accept things the way they are, that's where the insecurity comes in. Like, I can't do anything with this mess the way it is. I feel like people are setting things up against me. People aren't working with me. People are working against me. They're trying to oppress me. So, you have the Ace of Wands. Like, well, if this situation isn't working, there's always other situations. That makes sense for Aries for me. Usually, anyway, for Aries, it's kind of like, you know, if this ain't working, there's something else that will. That's the normal energy I know for it, but you can tell me if I'm wrong, but that's how I feel about it. So there's a moment here where you're feeling like insecure and like a victim, like you're being singled out and abused, and you're just like, well, that's not going to work for me. There has to be another way out of this. I can't stand for this. One way or another, I either have to change circumstances, change what's going on around me. I have to do something. I'm not just going to let this, I'm not going to let this hold me down. No. So, even if it's a situation that feels like it has insurmountable odds, I am getting like, no, I'm going to weave this the way I need to, and we will change this. We will change this. Now, what are you going up against? You got the Three of Cups in the environment. You got the King of Wands in the center. Ironically, in this situation, the King of Wands actually does feel like a person. Someone's being influenced by other people. And to you, it feels like you're trying to fight for what's right. You're trying to change somebody's mind in this sense of like, no, that's not what's happening. This is what's happening. And you feel like there's other people around you talking. Why do I feel like you're being used as a scapegoat? It's almost like it doesn't even matter that it's you. It's like there's this energy here that's trying to manipulate and trying to control. They're trying to get the like this person, there's like, this could be one person, by the way. Because when I'm seeing this three, I feel like it's somebody who has three different faces. Like, you know, you've heard the saying, you know, two faces, a two-faced person. I feel like there's three. Like, literally, I feel like this is one person that, like, depending on what they're dealing with, this is definitely somebody who's subject to situational morality. Based on what they're dealing with, they decide what their morals are for that situation based on what they're dealing with and what they think somebody else would do. So if they think somebody else in the same situation would lie, steal, and cheat to get ahead, in their opinion, since it's due to that situation, with that situation, that's fair to do because that's what other people do, and if they don't do it, they won't get ahead. But like, for example, if they're dealing with their child and they're like, you got to teach your child to be honest and truthful, that's a different type of situation. They would be very moral and very truthful with that child because that's what that situation calls for. This is somebody who changes with per situation. Like the way you know this person and the way their family knows this person, with the way they're friends with other coworkers, everybody might get a different version of the same person and be like, you get 5 people describe this person and it sounds like 5 different people. That's what I'm getting because they handle things differently. I'm also getting this King of Wands is like, this person, I feel like this is one person. I know that sounds strange, but I really feel that. This person is trying to get something from the King of Wands. They're just it's just what they got to do to make that happen. And if using you or manipulating a situation with you gets them ahead, I don't feel like they have a problem with that. It's really strange to me because I'm not even sure this is like a bad person. I just feel like it's really like their moral compass is screwed right up. Like they feel like due to the situation that it's not a bad thing to do that. Like they feel like they have every right to do that. That's what other people do to get ahead, and they want to get ahead. This is what they're going to do. There's a lot of leaving it there. I'm leaving it there. I don't like it, but I'm leaving it there. Where's the next step of this coming? Because you're fighting it. You got the Ace of Wands. I'm almost thinking this might be also like a heads up. They might be giving you a warning. Don't become the victim. Don't become the victim. That might be a thing. Like somebody might be pointing out what you do wrong or what's not the best for you. Maybe you're somebody who calls things out and they're like, oh, this person, that Aries is so aggressive and causes so many fights and blah, blah, blah. That Aries also causes things to correct and points out what's really not wrong and doesn't let it just slide under the rug. So there's good and bad to everything. Let's just say that. I'm offended. Like, I'm already offended. I'm like, listen, don't start with me. It's weird. Well, my moon is Aries. Maybe that's why, too. I'm connecting to this Aries energy. I'm like, listen, not everything I do is wrong. Sometimes it has really good results, so back up. I'm having a moment about it. I don't know what that's coming from. Don't let somebody make you the victim. So if you're not seeing it, they're like, pay attention. If something's going a little weird or somebody kind of gives you a strange side eye or all of a sudden they're pointing out all the things that maybe you don't do right, because you know what? We're human. We all have faults. We all have faults. But if somebody starts coming at you and all they're doing is pointing out your faults, that could make you insecure if that's all they're constantly doing. If that's what's happening, somebody else is playing it up so they can get ahead and push you to the back of the line. Just be aware of it. That's all I'm saying. I got like right on a soapbox about that, didn't I? Going into the next card. King of Cups. Same person. The King of Wands becomes the King of Cups. Same person. Whoever this person is that's being affected. They do, like, I feel like you got the Ace of Wands. You're stating your case. You're saying your truth. You seem to be making an impact with the King of Cups. Kind of like, at some point, if you haven't already, you should be saying, listen, I'm human. There's gonna be faults. Guess what? We're all in that boat. Not to be a jerk, but you have faults too. I might not know them. I may not see them, but you have them too. And if you're if somebody else is pointing out my faults, you might want to look a little harder at them, because why are they pointing out mine and not telling you about their own? Because they're probably trying to hide their own faults. The King of Cups, like the same person changing over to the King of Cups is kind of like they're emotionally connected to you. They know that you're not happy. It's almost like your insecurities have been pointed out way too many times, and it's like it's getting ridiculous. It's kind of like, listen, I've heard you. You got to stop pointing this stuff out. I do what I can with it, but some of this is just what it is. And you know what? I'm not the only one with faults here. This person, they are very affected. They don't want you to go. They don't want this to be a damaged part of the situation, so they are being affected by you pushing back a little bit. I feel like you're probably pushing back. You should be. I don't know of many Aries who don't push back. Maybe you're not, but I feel like for those of you this is hitting with, I think you are. Not like, I don't know, you're just stating your case. Like, listen, we all have faults. Stop pointing mine out. How about looking at your own? I'm getting like offended by it. I'm like, listen, like, come on. More craziness comes in. Who are you dealing with? Someone is trying to win over this person. The King of Wands becoming the King of Cups. This energy, I feel like it's the same energy we were dealing with before. I think it's one person with just many different personalities. I swear, they just, depending on the situation, is who you're gonna get. They're not like, they start losing their footing. You start gaining yours, and they freak out. They got despondent, they got wisdom, and then they got balance. They pull out all the stops, and they're like, they want to get ahead, and they're doing anything they can to get ahead. The freak out here is with despondence. I just feel like they're just kind of like, you're gaining ground, and they get really nervous about that. You gain ground, and they get very nervous. they realize they have to take a different approach. They're not completely happy with this. They're fighting to get whatever that is they want. They're fighting to get it, is what I'm getting. Wisdom with the balance is like they realize they're going to have to they have to stop saying whatever they were doing. They have to back off from that and they have to find another way forward. They're very unhappy about that. Balance is coming in with wisdom on their side in the sense of wisdom in the sense of they got to cut it out. Stop playing that same game, and if they really want this, they're going to have to push forward and try to find a different way to get an advantage, because that's basically what they're doing. They're looking for an advantage. There's a lot going on. You got workaholic in the center, but I feel like things are getting really busy. I feel like whatever the situation is, things are busy. It doesn't have to be workaholic in the sense of you're driving yourself crazy. But when it comes to this actual situation, it's kind of there's no time to really sit down and talk things out. Things got to get done, one to the next. You do that, I do this. This person who you're trying to win favor with, they don't have time to really talk. There's a lot going on. You're not sure if things are going well or not. Things are so busy that you don't have time to really mess with stuff. In the sense of you don't have time to really look at this any closer. You don't have time to spend on this moment. So I'm getting at this point you're releasing it, but you're still kind of aggravated with it, which is really interesting with this card. You're kind of aggravated with this. You want to let it go, but you're kind of I don't know what was going on here. I don't even know if things are okay. It doesn't seem like you're getting targeted as much at this point, but it's so busy that you wouldn't be able to tell anyway, because, I don't know, it's so busy that people wouldn't have time to do that. Let's keep going. It's just crazy here. Crazy at this point. All right. So things get really busy. This other side seems to back off. They get the hint that if they push it too far, it's going to double back and it's going to get them. If they keep pointing out your shortcomings, whatever, then it's going to just highlight them just being more of a nag more than anything else, or being maybe a fire starter or a troublemaker. So they have to back off, and they do. We're continuing forward. I'm getting you with the 7 of coins. You have things to do. You're showing your worth. You're proving your worth. I feel like you're just kind of listen, I can't get sucked into this ridiculousness. I'm going to show... I'm going to show through work, through ethic, that look what I'm worth. Look what I produce. Look what I do. Here's my worth. It's right here in front of you. You can see this is what I get done. This is my value. I don't just sit there and talk about stuff. I actually do stuff. There's an offended thing here. I feel offended again, kind of people can say all they want about me, but at the end of the day, I'm the one who gets stuff done. So we got that going on. Whoever this energy is, whether you know about them or not, they've got the 10 of Cups and the Page of Wands is in the center. They seem to have had to have backed off. You're showing what you are doing. You're showing your worth. You're not in the mood for them. Now, whether you know who this person is who's talking negatively about you or not, it doesn't matter. I feel like you don't have time for them. You're not in the mood for them. So you might not like them anyway, is what I'm kind of getting. Things are still moving forward. I'm noticing this 10 of Cups, though, in the environment. And I feel like things have calmed down. Okay, that makes sense. Things have calmed down. That other person, it's backed off a lot. It's backed off dramatically. Things are kind of nice. You're doing what you need to do. Everything is still, it still feels like everything is very busy. All right, everything's tranquil right now. This is a tranquil moment. Nobody's really causing problems. Now we got to go to the end, which, let's see if it's as dramatic as I originally thought. Well, it could be. Let's see. I'll pull out the cards here. In the center, you got 3 cards, which are very interesting to have together. They look very fall to me, but you have to decide for yourself what you think. But it looks very fall-like to me. You got the top one is self-worth. The next one is grief. And the one below that is enlightenment. You're going to have to directly work with this person. What's the deal with that? Whether it be a work situation, a family, a friend, you're directly stuck with this person. So if it's like a friend situation, and you don't really like hanging. This is a part of the friend group. Maybe it's somebody's spouse. It's like you're stuck in a car in the back seat right next to them for like 2 or 3 hours. Something like that. If it's a work situation, you literally end up having to work with this person. It's something like that. Self-worth, grief, and enlightenment. All three. I feel like you're gonna end up having to work with this person. I just feel like you're stuck with this person, and I actually feel like this person, the King of Cups. This is the same person, but the King of Wands, King of Cups. I feel like this is the same person. I feel like that person is putting you two together, kind of like seeing, almost like trying to help you guys understand each other. The other person I feel like is the troublemaker, quite frankly, but whatever. Because you got enlightenment, self-worth, grief. You don't really want to hang out with this person. Whether you know this person's a troublemaker or not, I still feel like you're not warm and fuzzy about them. Whether you know nothing about, like you could know nothing about all what they've been saying and all other crap, doesn't matter. I feel like just normally you're just like, I could do without. This seems to calm the whole situation. It seems to release whatever the problem is here. After this person deals with you directly, I feel like you're kind of like, you still don't really care for them. But it's kind of like you're on peaceful terms. Whether you know they're a troublemaker or not, you still really don't care for them. You really still don't care for them. But you're on peaceful terms. And you're like, well, I can be in the same room. I can have a conversation with this person. I'm fine. Do I want to? Am I going to search them out? Oh, no. I'm not going to search them out. I'm not going to do that. But if they're there, I'm there. I can do. It's fine. It's fine. The other person has impartiality. It feels dejected. It feels like they're just kind of like, again, it's very situational morality. To them, they have no guilt over the situation. Like, no guilt. They think, like, this is how the game is played, this is how you do it. They have no guilt. I don't get it. Impartiality, really, I feel like they have no guilt. They're kind of like, oh, this is fine, we're getting along now, so, unless I have to bother them, or unless I have to use them to get ahead, I won't. They'll be my last choice to bother at this point. This energy, I think really for the most of you, this is like identifying who this energy is, I think for a lot of you. If you didn't know who this energy is, I feel like it's to find out who it is, to see what it is and what's going on here. If you do know who this troublemaker is, I feel like at the end here where you're kind of on civil terms is good. Kind of because like I feel like you can use this more to your advantage, but also see this person more for who they are. They literally have no guilt. It's kind of like that, I don't know how the saying goes, but it's kind of like you can't fight a moral fight with an immoral person and win, because they're, I don't know how to explain that. But like the point is, don't engage in the fight. That's the whole point. It's like you don't have to sink to this person's level, but avoid that. Avoid it as much as possible. The only way I feel like you can respectfully win a immoral fight, if you will, like the other person's very immoral, in my opinion, is to disengage or just call out the facts best you can. That's the only moral way to win it. It's hard though. It's just seeing this person for who they are, being on good terms with them, getting them to leave you alone, but then also having it in the back of your mind when they start bothering other people, like standing up for those other people in a very quiet way. This person doesn't deserve to have the heads up that they're getting called out. They don't, call it out if you see them doing it to someone else, but don't let them know. Let them sink their own ship. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's what's going to happen in the future. That's another reason you're seeing this person for who they are. And even though you're on good terms, when they start messing with someone else, make sure the right people, you highlight that to the right people, and keep it quiet. Just so they sink their own ship. Let them sink their own ship. You don't have to go directly in and fight that fight yourself. Win the fight by just pointing it out to the right people and letting that person sink their own ship. That's kind of the best way to do it, from what I'm getting. I don't know if you want to do it that way, but I feel like that might solve the issue at some point. It's coming down the line sooner or later. Granted, it's a general read, so when? Who knows? I think we're good. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.